Hi, garden friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Era, and this is Gardening on Purpose. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a subscriber, welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I garden in Georgia, Zone 8A, where I do gardening-related videos. It is Sunday, and it's time for a Sunday walkabout. I was pretty excited to show you this garden bed, guys. This is on the east side of the house. It gets part shade, and the other day I actually cut down a terrible tree that was back there, and it opened up a lot of space to put some plants, right? But it's only part shade or part sun, however you want to say it. And what I have already in here are the liriope, right? I also have some hostas. This is the Diana Remembered hostas in here. Also have some autumn ferns right here, right? And these were all gotten from either Lowe's or Walmart. And this guy here, which is the Florida Sunshine Elysium, this guy will be an evergreen. The fern is an evergreen. The hosta will go to sleep, but the liriope would also be an evergreen. So this is also a constant here too. Now I couldn't find anything right now that was going to be evergreen where I could have not used the hosta, but I think this hosta works just fine right here. I also bought a roll of cardboard too, because I ran out of cardboard, guys. Even my family ran out of cardboard. We don't have any cardboard left, but you know, it takes a while to build up a lot of cardboard. But Home Depot does have a 3 feet by 100 feet roll of cardboard for $35, and this is what I'm using to get ready to mulch this area. I am very, very happy with the way things are looking. Also, in regard to the rocks, these are all the rocks that I dug out in preparation for this bed. So they came directly from this area here. I put them to the side. I did what I had to do, and then I used it to line it up. So this is one of the great things about being out here this way. There's a lot of rocks to be had for free. But let me know what you think about this part sun, east facing side of the house, a garden bed, pretty much at the side of the house, looking great. Now for context, I'm going to back up so you can see in relation to the rest of the front of the house. All right, so this is me in the front of the house on the foundation area, right? So you can see, like I said, I like the idea of staying evergreen and staying chartreuse colored. And I'm going to pan over to where I put that new garden bed so it makes sense. You can see that really nice chartreuse Florida Sunshine Elysium over there in line with this one here, which is on the foundation bed. Very, very happy with the way it turned out. I'm going to back up even more so you can get a better view of it right here. Really, really nice. Let me know what you think, guys. Moving on to the slope bed, I finally took out the Happy Returns daylilies that were here. Remember, I had some random Happy Returns daylilies that I was putting there for some color, but it really didn't make any sense because I know that these liriopes are going to get bigger and they're going to fill things in. So now the bed looks a little bit more refined. Very, very happy. I've also decided that I'm probably going to take this salvia out and also this salvia out. And because they're not evergreen, they will go to sleep, right? And even though it's fine if they go to sleep, the only reason some of these things are here is because, you know, I got them on clearance and I wanted some color. But I think I'm actually going to go back and buy some more of this particular holly here. That touch of gold, it does it every time, guys. It looks like this every year. So what I'm probably going to do is get some touch of gold of holly and replace the salvia with it. So this will be a whole line of touch of gold holly. You can see I have a salvia here as well. And they're not popping as much as I'd like them to pop from the mailbox. I like to be able to see them from the edge of my driveway. And the salvias are not popping, which is why I said, let me come back and put some more of the touch of gold holly. But overall, guys, this slope bed is definitely doing great. All right, so my white wedding hydrangeas are still doing great. You guys remember I had cut this guy off and made a bouquet to put inside the house, and it's just putting out even more blooms. They are beautiful, huge florets of flowers on the white wedding hydrangeas from the folks at Southern Living Plant Collection. This beauty here loves the sun. It has very steady, strong stems, and it grows somewhere between 4 to 6 feet tall. Really, really nice. I have quite a bit of them here in my yard. You've probably seen the Bellini raspberry crepe myrtle in a short, and when I did a spotlight on it, and it's just doing better and better, guys. I'm a big fan of crepe myrtles, as you know. This one here has green foliage and really nice pink blooms. Now, you guys know I love every crepe myrtle, but I seem to gravitate to the ones that are of the dwarf variety. Now, this guy here is not going to get taller than 5 feet tall, which is perfect, and it's just doing really, really well here. Crepe myrtles are one of the plants that can take the Georgia heat. You do not have to worry about this guy cranking out or acting up because it's hot. That is when it thrives, looking really, really nice. And the bees love it. The butterflies love it as well. Here's an update on the perennial hibiscus. You guys remember I have the summerific, proven winners summerific cookies and cream perennial or hardy hibiscus that was looking quite terrible, a couple of weeks ago. And I actually went to my Lowe's professional to ask them if they knew what it was. And this thing was looking bad, guys. I thought it was going to die. And then all of a sudden, it just got back all the leaves. So it's doing better again. There's definitely something going on with it. I don't know if it was too much water, too little water, or whatever, but now I'm beginning to think that it's not a pest, because look how it came back. And if I have a picture, I'll definitely put it on the screen to show you how terrible it looked when I was worried about it. But it's looking really, really nice now. Now, whether or not it's going to bloom again, I don't know, because it already bloomed and then it started looking terrible. But I'm just so happy to report that both of the perennial hibiscuses are doing great again. Checking in on the shade garden, guys. It's looking kind of weary, I must say. This is the time of the year where the shade garden begins to look kind of rough, and that's because we have very limited rain, guys. And with all that's been going on, with so much to do, I don't water these things as much as I should, but I think they'll be fine. Once things begin to cool down, they'll be okay again. But I definitely want to show you that it's not all rosy. Sometimes certain parts of the garden do look kind of rough. As you know, I have hostas and heucheras and lungwort and brunnera and all kinds of stuff. And you have ferns in here back there. And yes, it does look kind of rough, but I think they'll be quite fine. Update on my Daphne Adora. You guys know I bought this guy from the folks at Loganville at Growers Outlet for $18, and I was worried about this because when I read about this plant, everybody says that this plant is so difficult to deal with. This plant, if you plant it, make sure you plant it where you want to put it, because it's terrible at responding to moving, and so far so good. Now, I've only had this guy for 6 months, so it's definitely not enough information for me to determine whether or not it's going to do well in my yard, but it sure is taking the humidity and the heat well here. It is in shade, and this is where it belongs here in Georgia, but I'm really liking how my Daphne Adora is still looking great. It already bloomed, and I was so happy, but it's looking really nice. Let me know if you have Daphne Adora and if it does well in your yard. Speaking of watering, guys, the peonies in the containers are looking all of a sudden kind of rough. And maybe I shouldn't say all of a sudden, because, it's in a container, it's in the South, it's in Georgia 8A, and it's not getting a lot of rain, and I'm not constantly watering it. Now, these plants, these peonies, they do look kind of rough after they're done. But this is more than rough. This is crispy. And it's so funny. It's the Vogue, the Inspector Laverne, and the Sarah Bernhardt's that's doing it, because the Alexander Fleming is looking, is doing it what it's supposed to do. Obviously, Alexander is probably going to get to a point where it's looking rough too, but usually when I do my peonies, they don't look this crispy. And I think it's because of the lack of water, guys. So just remember, especially in zone 7B, 8, 9, we have a lot of humidity, we have a lot of heat. And if you don't stay watering these containers, they will end up looking rough. Now, whether or not this is going to affect my peonies next year, I don't know. I absolutely adore peonies, guys. I think they're one of the most beautiful plants ever, but I wish they had, I wish peonies bloomed longer. As you know, they bloom in the spring and then they look rough and then they go to sleep. But one thing they do have going for them is that they do live very long. Let me know if you have either the Sarah Bernhardt, the Vogue, or the Inspector Laverne peonies and how they're looking right now. This is my immortality bearded iris, and I know for sure that this fall coming up, I definitely will be dividing this guy here. It has done so well. It's been blooming and blooming and blooming. As you can see, it still has blooming power, coming soon. But it's getting to the point now. It's a pretty big clump, and it needs to be divided because if I don't divide it, it's definitely going to slow down and all of a sudden not bloom. And I don't want to get to that point, so I'm just letting it bloom all the way out. Beautiful white iris, guys, with a really nice fuzzy center. Love it. Let me know if you like bearded irises and how they do in your yard. My beautiful Beyond Midnight Bluebeard is blooming. I adore this plant because it actually starts blooming later, which means it will bloom all the way down to the frost, guys. Love it simply because it has these beautiful bluey purple blooms. That it is loved by the pollinators. The bees really like Bluebeard. And this guy here is pretty tolerant to the heat. It starts blooming in the middle of summer. And of course, here in Georgia, that's bad. That's really hot. But the Bluebeard doesn't seem to mind it at all, and the bees sure do adore it. This guy here, I had gotten it online when I was going through my withdrawal. I bought it the same time that I had bought my beauty berry. I bought it the same time that I bought my perennial hibiscuses, and I also bought my Rosa Sharon, and they're doing absolutely amazing. Update on my Autumn Joy sedum, still looking great and still slowly but surely turning colors, guys. As you know, if you watch me, you know that this is my favorite perennial because it just does so well. I don't have to do anything with this thing. I divide this plant every year, and I divide it into small, like quart-like pieces all over the yard, guys, but this thing just comes back and comes back and comes back. There's 2 plants right here, and every year they just get bigger and bigger. I guess because the roots at that point is very robust, so they just do well. But I love the Autumn Joy sedum because it can take the Georgia heat, guys. Has steady stems and these beautiful blooms here. Absolutely adore them, and they slowly turn. Now the pollinators love this guy. When all of this entire plant turns that nice pink, you're gonna see so many bees, so many butterflies. Absolutely amazing. Can't wait to show you when it's in its prime. I am continually impressed with the Salvia ganoridnica, also known as the black and blue salvia, guys. Every single day, the hummingbirds are all over this guy. I'm so glad I bought it. I bought it for a measly $6, guys, and I have so many. I've told my friends and family about this guy. It just does so well. Love these green foliage and these beautiful black and blue flowers here, guys. I definitely recommend them if you're looking for a plant that is going to bring in hummingbirds. This is it. Now, I thought that Agastaki was my #1 plant because I do have the Queen Nectarine Agastaki. I thought that was the #1 plant, but ever since I got this guy here, I think it's knocking the Agastaki out of first place because the hummingbirds go in on this guy here. Now, it does spread, right? Now, it does. I don't feel like it's like spreading like terribly bad, but I do notice the fact that I just bought this guy in a little 1 quart, and this, not a 1 quart, I'm saying, I think it's like a 2.5 quart, and this guy already looks like a 5-gallon plant, right? But I think it's a good trade-off because it is definitely bringing in the hummingbirds. This is my Olive Martina Iliagnus. I had bought this because I had read years ago that this is a fast-growing plant and it would be great for a hedge. I bought a whole bunch of them. The first 2 years it was kind of slow. Year 3, guys, it picked up. The only thing about this plant, it doesn't grow uniform. So here's one part of the plant that's low to my waist, and then you have this part here that's pretty much to my shoulder, and then here we are coming all the way up way past me, literally 9 feet tall, guys. So what you're supposed to do with this, according to what I read, you're supposed to cut this back to let the rest of this part catch up to it. But I'm finally getting to the point where I love and appreciate the Olive Martina Iliagnus. I love it simply because it's a chartreuse, it has the variegation, and I love the fact that it's evergreen for me, and definitely something to look at when winter comes around and a lot of things have gone to sleep. This beauty here. Also, I love it because when the foliage first comes out, it has these really nice gray, silvery foliage. Really pretty. Let me know if you have this guy. I believe it's hardy from zone 7 to 9. The Rose Creek Abelia is doing great, guys. I'm so happy I got this guy. Another clearance plant from Lowe's that's doing absolutely amazing, guys. The bees love this guy. They love these really nice white blooms. And of course, it's an Abelia, so it's going to be evergreen for me. Sometimes it might lose more leaves if we have a really bad winter. But so far, I can honestly say this is an evergreen for me that looks great, has beautiful green foliage, and the pollinators absolutely adore them, guys. Let me know if you have Rose Creek Abelia. Now, you know I have all types of abelias in my yard, but I really, really like this one. And also because it doesn't grow that tall. Unlike the Canyon Creek, which I absolutely adore, the Rose Creek doesn't grow all over the place, right? It's more of a mound, you can see, right? Versus the versus the Canyon Creek that has shoots going all over the place. But let me know if you have Abelia. I feel like Abelia is very underrated. I don't hear people talking about Abelia as much. I love them because they're evergreen, because they bring in the pollinators, and because they smell amazing. Here's the first set of blooms coming out for the fall blooming of my Chinese snowball viburnum, guys. I am very happy. Now, for me, the Chinese snowball viburnum blooms prolifically or more heavily in the spring. Then it has residual blooms in the fall, and you can see it is all budded up. Here's one right there. Here's another one right there. And my tree has gotten big. If you saw this tree when I bought it, it was small. It was actually in a 2-gallon container, guys, small. And this guy here is turning into an actual viburnum tree, which I'm so happy about. One of my neighbors, like 2 houses down, they actually have this one. They're a huge tree. I think they probably inherited it when they bought the house. But hers put on a show every spring, and I always look 2 houses down. And I was like, wow, that is so nice. But finally, I think I'm going to get there too, guys. How beautiful is this? I can't wait to show you the fall blooms. Okra alert. I have so many okra, guys. I don't even know what to do now. I eat okra every single day. Now, it's not a complaint. It's definitely a good thing. I'm so happy with the reward I'm getting for all the work I did back in April. But yeah, guys, this Clemson spineless okra here is just doing amazing in my yard. I come out here and I steam them, and they are absolutely delicious, guys. Let me know if you've planted okra this year and how they do. Also, what's doing great, and I'm finally getting to show you some of these, is my eggplant. Now, we had a family event, and I had picked 2 of the biggest eggplants before I actually took a picture of it. And I said to myself, oh man, I should have actually showed you guys before I did it. But since then, I've gotten some new eggplant, guys. You can see them right there. They're doing great. Now, what I'm noticing with the eggplant is there's a lot of ants here. Now, I don't know if ants is a problem for eggplant, but I do notice a lot of ants on the plant, but the fruit itself is looking great so far. My yellow ladybanks rose is looking kind of rough, guys. I hope it's not dead, but this is one of the plants that I keep forgetting about. It's in a container. It's in a black container. I had gotten this as a clearance plant, so it's not like I bought this for a whole bunch of money. I think I bought it maybe $12 or $13. But this guy here, I had picked this up because somebody in my comments, I think it was last year, told me that, they have ladybanks rose. It does great. I was like, okay, I like roses. I'm going to get this ladybanks rose. This whole time it's been in this container, I have completely not put it in the ground, and this is what it looks like right now, guys. So I'm definitely going to give you an update on this guy when I cut it back to see how it responds. Still so many plants that have not gotten in the ground yet, guys. As you know, I'm waiting for things to calm down, especially for things that are going to go into hot sun. Now, you might say, didn't you just make a completely new garden bed and put new plants? Yes, I did, but that is part shade to part sun. All these guys here are going to require full sun, all of them. And I just, I'm just going to wait until things really cool down. We're constantly in the 70s. We need to get out the 80s, and we need to be less humid for me to start planting these things. So I still have butterfly bushes. I still have coneflowers. I still have lantana, daylilies. I've got the Argentine petunia, all these things. Now, I don't know, there's a story going on here with my my coneflowers. They're not doing great. I don't know what the story is, but it looks like they're not going to make it. But again, I'll do another video to kind of go into detail about that as to what the story is, because I don't know. why that would be happening right now, because I've been taking care of the plants, especially the ones in the container, because I know they need me more. My butterfly weeds started to show up in the last week or so, guys. Now, these guys have been showing up because years ago I bought one butterfly weed for $16.98 from Home Depot, planted it. That main mother plant died, but every year the wind blows seeds all over and they show up. So I have a whole bunch of them. Now, you guys know that this guy here is great for the monarch butterfly. I cannot wait, guys. It is looking really, really nice. I have a whole bunch of them around the yard. So definitely when the caterpillars start showing up, I'll be sure to document that for you. All right, guys, that is pretty much it for me here today. Let me know what you think and let me know how things are going in your garden. Please like, please share, and please subscribe. Remember, hit that notification bell so when I put out a new video, you'll be one of the first people to know. Thanks and have a great day. Bye-bye.